So today the headline is what is going on the Ruby Princess, and it is a really rare situation when in life you are confronted with something that you can actually do to help solve a problem, and I feel like that's where we are, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it is December 10th of 2024, and the really big news is that on the Ruby Princess there is another norovirus outbreak. So these days when there is a gastrointestinal issue and lots of people on the ship have it, they call it a norovirus outbreak. So let's talk over what's going on. First of all, on the Ruby Princess, people have received actually a letter in their cabin letting them know what is going on, and on board the ship they've got crew members, of course, wiping down every surface as often as they can. They have the crew members now serving the food in the buffet, and they have crew members stationed at the hand washing stations on the way in the buffet to try to get everyone to wash their hands. Of course, that's not mandatory, and I have seen so often a crew member will say, please wash your hands, and people will just keep right on walking. And so I'm hoping that's slowing down a little bit with the situation on board. But a few things I want to tell you about today. I'm going to share a personal experience that I wasn't sure I was going to share, but I've decided I ought to do that. So we're going to talk about that today, as well as some of the things and ideas, really, how to mitigate the spread of norovirus once you're on board a ship. So first off, let me tell you a few reasons why I think this happens. Number one, people don't wash their hands enough. The number one thing you can do to stop the spread of norovirus is to wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Can't tell you how many times I have been in a public restroom on a ship and not on a ship that I am really surprised that people finish in the bathroom, come out, and they do not wash their hands on their way out the door. And so that is just opening the door for norovirus to enter and to start to be spread. And another thing I think is so often, I don't know how often it is because people don't know. It seems like we learned since we were little to wash your hands after you go to the restroom. Wash your hands often, but also I think that maybe, I worry about this, sometimes I think people don't care if they spread things. They are just worried about their experience and what's going on. They're not worried about anyone else. And so here's what happened to me. So before I tell you a few of my ideas and then share my personal experience, if you haven't subscribed yet, will you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button? Would love to have you with us. And if you appreciate my updates and our conversation, everything that we share, will you please give this video a thumbs up as well? So first off, a few things stand out. And of course, we've talked about it before. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. You can even wash your hands on the way into the buffet, serve yourself, and then as soon as you're done getting served, go wash your hands again before you actually eat. That's an option. One thing that I'm going to start doing, I've got to make myself a note so I don't forget, is I'm going to order some disposable gloves, and I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to put those on as I touch the serving utensils, and do my best to not do that. I'm going to bring extras with me so that if I forget something, or if they have something that was so good I wanted a little bit more, if I want to go back over to the buffet and touch anything again, I'll have another pair of gloves to put on, because you can't touch all the serving utensils, leave the gloves on while you eat your food, and then go back again, because then you're in the same thing, then you get those germs anyway. So tell me in the comments some things that you think would help as well. Now let me tell you something that happened that really highlights how important it is to have travel insurance, but also truly to think of other people as well as yourself when you're sick. So I just went on that cruise on the Celebrity Ascent. As I came to fly home, I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Salt Lake. When I boarded the flight in Fort Lauderdale, the people that were in the middle and the aisle seat were already seated by the time I got there, and my seat was the window seat. So I put my bag in the overhead compartment and then asked them to move so I could slide right in. The gentleman that I would have been sitting next to clearly had a really hard time moving, so they let me in, We all sat back down again, and as soon as we sat down, truly the odor of diarrhea and vomit was so strong that it was really something. So I immediately didn't want to hurt their feelings. I just said, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry, I forgot something." And they had to move again, which was monumental for that poor gentleman. And I went, got the flight attendant, pulled her aside. I said, "Can we step out here? I don't want to hurt these people's feelings." So I said, "I can't sit there. This gentleman is clearly very ill. And if I sit there, I'm going to be sick too, not only from the germs, but because I can't take that smell." And she said, "Well, you know what? There are no empty seats on this flight." And I said, "That is so okay. I am happy to take a later flight. I'll take the next one or tomorrow, but I can't sit there." And so I think then she thought, oh, she's sincere. So she called up to the desk, and I had to wait until it was almost time for the flight to go. And then they said, "We've got one. It's on the last, of course, row of the plane, middle seat." And I said, "Thanks so much." Sat back there. As I was leaving the plane, I was like the last one coming. They were so kind. They had my bag down for me out of the bin, and she said, "You made the right call." That gentleman was sick again and again and again throughout the entire flight. And so I know if I would have sat there, I would have been sick. I would bet that people that sat right close by there perhaps got sick, but even more, like that poor gentleman didn't feel good at all on that flight. And so, you know what? Think of other people. If you are ill when you disembark from a ship, they mentioned as the wife was getting out, they'd been on a cruise. And so think of the other people who are on the plane, and also think of how miserable it is to be on a plane and be so ill. Have that travel insurance so that if you need to change your flights, you need to book an extra day or two in a hotel because you're so sick, you can do that. Just putting that out there. Share your experiences, everything that you have to say about this in the comments. I really feel like if we all washed our hands and took some added measures of safety, that it would really make a big difference in this kind of thing on the ship. Because whether we like it or not, we all touch surfaces. Whether you're going down the stairs and you touch a handrail, you push the button in an elevator, whatever it is that you touch, we all just need to be thinking a lot more about washing our hands a lot more often and being much more conscientious about what we do. So thanks for joining me today. I'll see you all here again tomorrow, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.